Okay, you cannot change the fact that Yahweh ordered Jews to kill children. Even if you change many things, that part is going to be there forever, no matter what you change. So that part is not going to
You keep
change,
framing
right?
it as children.
Well, I'm going to get to that part that you talked about them, the children, right?
Okay,
So I'm focusing. Let's focus on one thing at a time. I'm talking
sure.
about the change part, right? So I am given that I do frame it as children. uh, God ordered that, and that is unchangeable. That is part of the history of Judaism that Yahweh did that, right? And the other part that we cannot change is the fact that Judaism worships Yahweh. So putting these two together, if they are children, if we say that they kill children, so whatever you change, these two parts will not change. Yahweh ordered the killing of children. Judaism is the worship of Yahweh. So Judaism is the worship of an entity that ordered people to kill children.
Why are you? Because it says. Why are you
Yeah.
saying just children? It says women and children and even donkeys. Why are you not saying donkeys? You keep saying only children.
Yeah, that is, I mean,
It
because,
said
well, I mean,
it's a
that's
whole
fucked up as
package.
well. Yeah, that doesn't make it
Because that's the worst one, I
okay.
think. Yeah,
Hold
it's the
on.
worst
Yeah,
one.
because that exactly, Musad, because that's the worst one. If you say like, oh, let's go kill everybody and burn the trees and destroy the houses and kill the children, I'm gonna be like, holy shit, what? Like that's the item on the list that is going to get me the most attention. I mean, I do care about donkeys, to be honest. Like that's fucked up as well.
But it
Why the
wasn't a
fuck are we killing
command.
donkeys?
The
What? No,
command
but
was kill all of these, and the
I understand that. But kill all of them. It means like when you repeat, when you're giving the list of of what all means, and you include the children, you saying it meant all doesn't negate the fact that it made it very clear that children was part of that all. So
right,
it did. So you're saying it meant kill all people doesn't negate the
right,
fact that it specifically ordered to kill the children. I'm not
to tell
disputing the
you that
fact.
they don't have a pass. It means
Yeah,
all.
I know that. I know that. I'm going to get to that part. That's another part. The unchanging part, the fact that children were ordered to be killed, and then the message that I'm going to get to. This was supposed to mean God ordered to kill all of them. Yeah, he made it very clear that all means also the children, right? So
Yes.
it was a direct order to kill children. So that was,
No, the direct
you
order
didn't
was to kill all the kids, all
oh
of
my
the
god.
Amalekites, all of the Amalekites.
Okay, I see. I don't even know what the point. This point is. If I
Yeah, I'm not
tell,
getting
if
the
somebody,
point. I
hold
don't
on, Musad.
understand
I
your
know you're
point,
making it.
actually. Yeah.
Okay,
I
Musad,
mean, it's
you.
right. It's the worst part of
Yeah,
it. It doesn't matter if it's a list.
yeah,
The list is bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If in a, if there's in a house there are some men, women, and children, and I tell you to go kill every single person in that house, every single person, even if I don't mention the children, I just ordered you to go kill some children. So that is there. All right. So and then the part where you say these were people who killed children, so why should I pity their children? I mean, because the children didn't order the killing of children, right? I know even if these were the worst people on earth, that killed their own children or killed other people's children or whatever disgusting things they did, like I'm just going to accept that from you, that these were the worst of all people. The fact is that their children were never responsible for any of that. The adults were responsible for that. So you cannot get take revenge on children of people for the things that their parents have done. That doesn't make any sense. That's not moral in any way. The children were innocent. Okay, even if their parents were baby killers, that doesn't mean we can kill their babies just because their parents were baby killers, right?
Yeah, today.
I mean, I'm judging the God today.
Back
I'm
then,
not.
the standards was a bit different.
I'm not judging. If I was judging humans, I would accept that point. I'm not judging a human. I'm judging a God. Okay, a God is above time. Okay, a God is supposed to have a moral above all time. So if I was judging humans, I would be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But given that we're talking about Yahweh, that point doesn't stand, right? And then going to Samantha saying, would you kill baby Hitler? These were all baby Hitlers, every single one of them. I mean, even if you think it's justified to kill baby Hitler, killing all the babies of an entire tribe and calling every single one of them baby Hitler is kind of a stretch, one. And two, this is kind of scary actually, because You're saying, well, God knows that these are baby Hitlers, so if God says that they're baby Hitlers, it's okay to kill them. This actually, I wasn't actually worried about this, but this actually made me worried, because Mossad was kind of suggesting that, like, okay, this is, we don't take this seriously. This is like ambiguous. Nobody takes it seriously. But you can see how the divine command theory becomes very dangerous, because Samantha was actually saying, like, you know what? If God says kill babies, he must know something. Right? So it's okay. So you can see how, in my opinion, this is very dangerous, because with divine command theory, we normalize things that are naturally very evil. We just, it just, we're just, we're not, it doesn't sound as taboo anymore. Like, oh yeah, killing children is very bad, but if God says it, there must be something evil about these babies that makes them okay to kill them. This is how, through the process of divine command theory, things that are naturally evil to us become normalized and non-taboo.
Okay. And I want to let Shaul jump in because he came back. Shaul.
I think Armin is kind of looking at this as like a modern thing. It's a morality thing. If you look, I'll go back to the Hitler question, baby Hitler. When Hitler came to power, one of the things that he created was the Hitler Youth. So, would it be moral to kill baby Hitler? Because he created more baby Hitlers himself. So that's the point. The message of the Bible is not just about a specific group of people. It's about annihilating complete evil. If you would look like at Hamas, should Israel destroy Hamas? Yes. But what if Hamas has an army of children fighting for them? Should we let them live? Though imagine a group of kids, which they do in Africa. I know it happens. The armed kids, they tend to be more cruel than adults. Should we let them live? Because those kids are probably going to end up as a bunch of psychopaths. I know it's terrible to speak like that, but I'm not trying to justify it, because there are now complete prohibitions about doing stuff like that. This is a specific order about a specific group of people that the Bible looked at as a total evil. It keeps telling you, remember what the Amalekites did to you. And it speaks specifically about a group of people. It doesn't speak about current events. It doesn't speak about, I don't know, in generalities, kill all your enemies and all of your children. It specifically speaks about a group of people. Yeah, I know your apprehension about it. And again, I'm not a believer. I'm more into the history of the thing. But this story specifically is just cherry picking out of the book that describes 3,500 years of history. There's no law in the 613 rules that we have to follow as Jews. As if you are like an ultra Orthodox, you're supposed to follow that. That specific rule applies only to the Amalekites. Not a single other nation on the face of the planet deserved that treatment except them. Because the Bible at that point of time looked at that group of people as complete evil. Now we don't know what the origin of those. The best that we know is like the Edomites, that because they probably were at that area, that region at that point of time. But saying that just because he ordered a specific group of people that was, how can I define it, as were thought of as complete evil, that's not a thing to like completely discount a whole religion. That's why I don't believe in God, but I'm not an atheist, because at the end, Judaism and then Christianity following it brought the current concept of morality into Western society. Now, I know you're an atheist again, but claiming that the laws of morality that we have today has nothing to do with past religions, I think it's a fallacy. That's just my point of view.
Okay. Thank you, Shaul. And now we have Mossad and then Armin. I think that it's important to say to both sides that the reason that the Jews are jumping you right now, Armin, is because we are blamed till today that maybe we are killing Jews because it's written somewhere. And that is why everybody are trying to make it, those passages that you read very accurate and trying to argue about this. So both sides, let's breathe.
I
about
hope
this.
I'm not coming across like that, because I don't think like yeah, okay.
No, I didn't say you.
No.
I say that this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
why
Nobody's
we are
angry with you.
touchy
This
about
is
this.
this
We
is
are the
No.
problem. We are touchy right now. It's not you.
Okay, I wanted
Okay.
to explain a little about. Oh, I thought it was my turn.
I was just going to say that the thing about the present day is Benjamin Netanyahu has on several occasions made analogies to Amalek. He said, remember Amalek, directly when he's talking about the Palestinians. He makes a direct allusion to
Hamas.
and
about
the
Not
Hamas.
Amalekites
About
were
Hamas.
genocided. It's just a
no,
fact.
no. It's about Hamas. It's not
About
about
not about
Palestinians.
Palestinians.
No.
Hamas
No,
and
it would
only
never
Hamas.
say. It would never say
Okay,
that we got 2 million
okay.
Palestinian
Just a moment.
citizens. No
Okay.
way
So,
he would say
it's just Hamas. Okay.
Let a judge
Okay.
go on.
Okay.
Let
Fair
a judge
enough.
go on.
Fair enough. I take your point. Yeah. Okay. If that's just it, fair enough. Listen, I told you this. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that that's what they're. I'm not saying that the agenda is to genocide the Palestinians. I'm just saying. I was saying there was a reference to it, but if it's just about Hamas, then fair enough. But you could see. I think you could see how, at least at first glance, if someone were to listen to that, you could say, well, okay, well, they genocided the Amalekites. So if they're saying this today, you could see how somebody could make that connection, right?
It reminds me of when George Bush said the word crusade, and people took that out of context, when in modern English you could say you have a crusade against the oil companies, or a crusade against sugar, or whatever.
Sure.
The word is not used
My aunt used to call me Amalek when I used to break things in the house, for example.
But
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
that sounds
racist.
that's racist. Yes. So I'll tell you about the history of it. I looked it up because I didn't want to make mistakes, but it's not actually. I wasn't too bad with my memory. So we have a concept called Chazal, which is the wise men of the past or whatever, and they set the rabbinical Judaism code, or it evolves, okay, but they already say that you should not read the Torah as it's written. You should always ask yourself what this is supposed to mean. So yes, it's holy text and everything, but you should always read, and they call it Pshat Hudrash, it means questioning. So
Okay.
we're talking 2000 to 1500 years ago. Then by the Middle Ages, what became more popular is to say that the whole thing is allegorical. And in modern Judaism, that is how it's viewed. According to their verdict, which exists for almost 2000 years, we do not know anymore who Amalek is, and therefore you could never call anyone Amalek on a religious ground, because there's no way to tell who they are. And the way to interpret Amalek's story, if you think of it as allegory, it's just a symbol of the evil. It's not real people, it's a symbol of evil.
Okay.
So that's what I meant when I said it's ambiguous.
Right.
It's not because people believe it's ambiguous. The whole thing has been made vague. So if you ask Jews about what they think about it, you'll get a million answers. Nobody really knows exactly, unless they consult their rabbi, and then it will be his opinion. There's no, but the verdict from the Halacha is that there's no Amalek after that Amalek, and that's it. We're done.
All right. We need to move on in the list. Okay. Armin, do you have anything to say about it?
Yes. Okay. So first
Yes.
of all, I have response to Musad and Shaul. So actually, what Shaul said shows that my concerns are good concerns, because first he said it's not a morality thing, but then he used that to make a morality claim by giving an example of, oh well, Hamas,
No, I said
children in
it was a
Gaza.
morality. It was a morality. It was a morality thing.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
let you push against the Shaul in a little bit. Let him finish his
Okay,
points.
it's a morality thing, but that's not my main point. My main point is that in Gaza, you said that the children there, they're going to turn out bad.
No.
So should we not kill?
Again, I said, what if they had an army of children, like it was
Yes,
done in? I said, If there was an army of children then trained by Hamas that already killed children, like happened in Africa plenty of times. That was my point. Not that every
Okay.
child in Gaza is evil.
Okay, Sean, thank you. The point is clear. He referred to child soldiers. Go on.
The verses that I read was talking about infants and children as young as 2 years old. If we are looking at baby Hitler and children in Gaza, and we're trying to connect this to these verses, the natural conclusion would be like, if we want to not do a false analogy here, then and use biblical, try to justify these biblical verses, then the comparable in Gaza would be for us to go kill infants and 2-year-olds in Gaza, because yes, don't shake your head, Samantha. The biblical verses specifically said infants. I read that to you. It said infants and killed them all. So the comparable, if we want to use that as our source of morality,
But
then
it's
we
not.
should go. That's your point, Musad. But Shaw
Let him
was
finish.
making a connection from verses to try to justify what we can do today. In fact, what Shaw is saying shows that your point, Musad, could sometimes not be true if we are trying to make a connection to biblical verses and justify actions like baby Hitler's or killing in Gaza. So you're saying there's no connection, but I'm saying other people here trying to make a connection to actions today. And that is dangerous, because a comparable action today would be to just go wipe out all of Gaza. That would be a comparable, including infants and 2-year-olds. That's what it would mean, right? Yeah, and also I never deny. Like, I don't know. You said you're an atheist, but you cannot deny laws of today have nothing to do with the Christianity and Judaism. When did I ever make that claim? So, when did I ever make a claim that our laws of today have nothing to do with Christianity and Judaism? Also, to Musad's point, when you said that this was a symbol of evil and these are vague, those two claims are contradictory. You cannot say that they were symbols of evil and these are vague, because if they're vague, then you cannot know for certain if these were symbols of evil. If it's vague, then there's a dispute whether or not these are just symbols or actual people. So these are two contradictory. So because you might say that these are symbols, but many Jewish people believe that no, these are exact event that happened and these were actual people, and God did command us to go kill actual children. So when you say these are symbols of
People,
evil, that's according to you, not according to everyone within Judaism, and
no,
not
but
according.
those people, wait, you miss a point.
No,
Those people
Mossad,
who
Mossad,
believe
Mossad, 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 Mossad.
they
Not
they
right now.
believe,
Not right now. Not right now.
but he's
Not right now.
forgotten what I
Not
said.
right
He's
now.
forgot
Not
what he
right now.
said.
Okay,
But
so
it's
make it a one-liner.
the people who believe the story is real believe that Amalek is gone and there's no future Amalek at all ever.
All right, so you now made a third point that contradicts your two first points. First, you
Let
said
him finish.
Amaleks are. First, you said Amaleks. You said that. I remember saying this. Okay, don't say I don't remember. But you added a third point right now. The first point you said is that these were symbols of evil, symbol for not actually real people. Okay. Then you said it's vague, which contradicts the first one. If it's vague, then you don't know if it's a symbol. Then there's multiple interpretation, and all of them could be true if it's vague. Now you said that
Described
they were
2,000
there.
years of interpretation. I didn't contradict myself. They described how it was believed 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and today. Of course, it's different.
That doesn't.
You're not listening.
Yeah, that doesn't negate what I'm saying, Musa.
So,
That doesn't negate what I'm saying. When you say this is a symbol of evil and it's vague, these 2 points are
I
contradictory.
didn't
And then
add
when you
points.
add,
I said this. I repeated points you didn't hear.
that's
That's
it.
all.
That's it. Nah, ding, ding, ding. That's it.
no,
I mean,
you're adding a third point. Again, I'm not able to make my point as because I keep getting interrupted. So I don't know if I could finish my point. Can you give me some points?
I will give
Yeah.
you more time, and I ask people to respect the format because it's very hard for me and for Amen. I understand that
Yeah.
this is an interesting topic, but we need to be more patient. Okay.
Yes. So the point again, you keep saying I misremember. I remember that this point was made that Amalek were a symbol of evil. I also remember that this point was made exactly that this is vague. These 2 points are contradictory. And then you made a third point that they were there, but they're not here no more, which is also, I don't know, contradicts the other the first 2 points. But the thing is that if it's vague, then you cannot claim, then that opens to the door that these warrior people, like, you cannot say this is my interpretation and this is the true interpretation, right? And they're a symbol. If it's vague, then we're acknowledging that the interpretation of these were real people that were ordered by God to be killed is one of those interpretations. And if they were supposed to be symbols of evil and not real people, then the scripture didn't make that clear enough, because for most of history, Jews believed this to be real stories of real people, and children and infants were killed with the order by the order of God. And we see right now here that some people are trying to get moral lessons of what is allowable to do now based on that, right? So that's kind of dangerous as well. But again, that's not even really my concern, because I don't think Jewish people are capable of doing such evil anyways. My main concern is, like, us having to be honest about what this religion is. And I think that religion should be just used as culture, as identity, as stories, as legends. And if there are fucked up parts of it, we could just admit that they're fucked up and just sort of like say that these are just our stories, these are just our traditions, this is what just brings us together, these are our cultural, historical part of our history. We don't take it that seriously. But we have to be honest about saying, yeah, the fucked up parts are fucked up, but who gives a shit? Like, I enjoy Harry Potter. You don't see me having to defend Voldemort. Like, nobody, if I nobody comes to me like, Armin, how could you be a Harry Potter fan? Isn't Voldemort such a sick fuck? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is just a story that I enjoy. And I think that's how we should this is how we should treat ancient culture and identity and stories that build our identity. That's what it is, and that's how we should use it. But we have to be honest about the parts that are fucked up.